It's a farm the best place to survive the zombie apocalypse? When the undead rise and civilization crumbles, where do you go? The urban jungle is too crowded, the suburbs too exposed, and the wilderness too unpredictable. As the world descends into chaos, one sanctuary, often overlooked, in zombie survival plans is the humble farm. Yes, the same place where chickens cluck and cows moo might just be your best shot at outlasting the apocalypse. On this channel, we are experts in analyzing places to survive the zombie apocalypse, and we have the goal of reaching 1K subs before September. Subscribe to help us. Before seeing why we should never go to a farm, let's see what advantages this place can offer us. When the supermarkets are overrun with zombies rather than shoppers, a farm's self-sufficiency becomes a lifesaver. Literally. Picture this. While city dwellers are fighting over the last can of beans, you're plucking fresh tomatoes from the vine and enjoying a hearty salad. With endless rows of vegetables, fruit trees, and perhaps even a few chickens laying eggs, your food supply is as sustainable as it is delicious. No more scavenging expeditions into zombie-infested towns. Instead, your biggest problem might be figuring out what to do with all those zucchinis. A farm turns the apocalypse into an all-you-can-eat buffet, minus the brain-eating guests. Zombies are notoriously slow and not very bright. Think of them as particularly persistent tourists who just won't leave. On a farm, the wide-open spaces are your best friend. With fields stretching as far as the eye can see, you've got plenty of time to spot any wandering undead before they get close. Plus, the farm's natural layout offers countless opportunities for creative defense. Tractors can become makeshift tanks, hay bales can double as barricades, and that old barn can be transformed into a zombie-proof fortress. It's like a giant playground for your inner apocalyptic architect. Ever considered a pitchfork as a weapon? On a farm, you've got a treasure trove of unconventional weaponry at your disposal. Forget about guns and knives. Think shovels, scythes, and even the occasional angry goose. Trust us, they're terrifying. Tools that once helped with planting and harvesting can now be repurposed for zombie defense. A ride-on mower can become a rolling zombie chopper, and a well-aimed hoe can take down a zombie faster than you can say, brain buffet. Your farm's tool shed isn't just a place for rusty old gear, it's an armory in disguise. But not everything in this place is good. In the end, we all know how Herschel's farm ended. Running a farm isn't all sunshine and roses. It's hard work, even without zombies trying to eat you. Keeping crops alive requires water, and when the power grid goes down, so does your irrigation system. You'll be hauling buckets like it's the 1800s, which is exhausting when you're also trying to keep an eye out for any encroaching ghouls. Livestock needs feeding, which means either growing more crops or scavenging for feed. And let's not forget about those occasional zombie cows. Ever tried wrangling one of those? Maintaining a farm during the apocalypse could quickly become a full-time job, leaving you wondering if it wouldn't have been easier to just barricade yourself in a nice cozy basement somewhere. Because let's be honest, how many of us watching this video would know how to run a farm? The great outdoors, so beautiful, so open, and so difficult to secure. A farm's charm lies in its sprawling fields, but those same expanses make it nearly impossible to fence off effectively against zombies. Traditional farm fences are designed to keep animals in, not zombies out. Your average picket fence is no match for a determined horde of the undead. The barbed wire that worked wonders on cows and sheep is laughably ineffective against creatures that don't feel pain. Zombies are notorious for their persistence, and without a formidable barrier, they'll keep coming, turning your pastoral paradise into a scene straight out of a horror movie. Sure, you could try to build a wall, but unless you have the resources of a medieval king, it's not going to be easy. Constructing a robust perimeter requires materials, tools, and manpower, all things that are in short supply during an apocalypse. You might start with grand plans for a fortified compound, but soon realize that your DIY skills are no match for the sheer scale of the task. Even if you manage to erect a makeshift barrier, maintenance is a constant headache. Nature has a way of reclaiming what's hers, and your homemade defenses will need regular repairs, which isn't exactly convenient when you're also dodging zombies. And let's face it, a scarecrow isn't scaring off anyone who's already dead. While they might ward off birds, scarecrows are merely amusing lawn ornaments to the undead. You'll find yourself in a perpetual game of whack-a-mole, repairing breaches and fending off nighttime visitors who just won't take a hint. Every gust of wind, every rustling leaf could be a potential threat, keeping you on edge 24/7. You'll soon realize that fortifying a farm against zombies is less about building a barrier and more about engaging in an endless cycle of vigilance and repair, turning your idyllic countryside refuge into a never-ending construction site. At first glance, the isolation of a farm might seem like a stroke of genius in the zombie apocalypse playbook. Less population means fewer zombies, right? Well, not so fast. While fewer people around might indeed reduce the initial wave of undead visitors, it also means you're on your own when the big leagues arrive. Large hordes of zombies. These masses of moaning flesh eaters can travel for miles, drawn to noise, movement, or just the smell of fresh meat, which, let's face it, includes you. Securing a large farm against such a massive onslaught is like trying to patch a sinking ship with duct tape. Your cozy farmhouse might seem safe until you realize that thousands of zombies are converging from all directions. Imagine the logistical nightmare of trying to fortify acres of land against a relentless tide of rotting flesh. Even with the advantage of space to spot approaching hordes, you'll quickly find that your strategic advantage is outweighed by the sheer numbers you're up against. Sure, you can attempt to create choke points or use natural barriers like rivers or dense forest edges, but zombies aren't known for their respect for property lines or logical navigation. They'll swarm around obstacles animals, tearing down fences and trampling crops in their mindless pursuit of fresh brains. Suddenly, the isolation that once seemed like a blessing becomes a curse, a vast expanse of vulnerability rather than security. And when you're facing down a tidal wave of zombies, you'll wish for more than just wide open fields and a couple of scarecrows for defense. But what is your opinion? Do you think you could survive on a farm? I read you in the comments.